Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Profit by Design podcast. I am so glad that you're here. If you're joining me live, please type a wave in the chat. And if you are watching the replay, comment #replay. Please be sure to tag a friend who can benefit from today's topic. I'm so excited to be with you today. I'm Melissa Kay, the lead strategist and the certified dream manager at Tap the Potential, or better known as the Chief Dream Officer. Last week on the podcast, I shared how your organization's future and your team members' potential are intertwined, and how our Dream Manager program is the solution to employees' disengagement. Today, I'm going to be sharing what a personal strategic plan is and why it's so important for your business and for yourself, how identifying your dreams supports your business vision, and how to energize your A players and keep them engaged by implementing their own strategic plan. And I'm so excited to be joined by Kaitlyn Beaver, our sales and marketing team lead at Tap the Potential. Welcome, Kaitlyn.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm really passionate about this topic, and I'm excited to share more about my experience.
Awesome. We're glad to have you here, Kaitlyn. And I invited Kaitlyn to share her experience with the Dream Manager program and how weaving in us having a personal strategic plan has supported her role as an A player on the Tap the Potential team. So, Kaitlyn, let's go back to the very beginning when you first started at Tap the Potential. Before we had our first dream storming session, what was your life like, and your personal strategic plan and your professional strategic plan? What were these looking like? Did they exist?
The short answer is no. I did not have a personal or a professional vision. And to give you a snapshot of where I was at, I was really in a place of burnout. So we talk a lot at Tap the Potential about the wheel of life. And this is an opportunity to really assess your life satisfaction. And when I'm looking at my relationships, my personal development, my career trajectory, my spiritual awareness, finances, enjoyment, well-being, family, the list goes on and on. I was really low on all of those scores. And I was in a place of severe burnout. And it was really devastating. It was overwhelming. And I really didn't know how to unstuck myself. I don't even think that I realized I was experiencing burnout symptoms until we really started to break the ice and talk more about what the wheel of life is and what dreaming and visioning is.
Wow. It's so common when we go through the wheel of life activity. You think of a wheel and it's completely round. It needs to be that way in order to function properly. But most of the time, what we experience are these almost like flat tires, where you may be thriving in one area, but other areas are suffering. And tell us what was the result of not having a really full wheel of life? What was the result of not having a personal strategic plan? And how did it affect you professionally?
Oh, I get emotional when I think about it. The impact is really indescribable. I felt like I was in the survival trap. I felt like I had no sense of direction or clarity. I knew that I had all of these incredible passions and strengths, even Achilles heels that I didn't love about myself. And I wasn't reaching my full potential. And for me, somebody who is a high achiever, type A, an only child, and always been, a bright and shining light in my family's eye. And I hope to be a gift to others, even though those things are true. I really didn't feel like I was accomplishing any of the things that I was set up for. And that haunted me every day. So when business owners come to us and they're explaining burnout and they're explaining the overwhelm and why is my brain going in 20 different directions, from day to day, I'm not accomplishing anything. I feel that pain.
Mm.
I was sitting in it, and I don't feel that I was adding value to the people and the things around me. And for me personally, being a people person, that was really devastating and something that I needed to turn around. But I didn't have the systems, I didn't have the language, I didn't have the strategy, I didn't have the terminology to recognize it, work through it, beat it. And it's something that has continued to intrinsically motivate me to overcome those things. And that's where visioning and dreaming and having a personal strategic plan came in, because I knew that in order to overcome that survival trap, I was going to have to turn things around. I just didn't know how to do it.
I love that you brought up something that's such a great point that often we don't think about as business owners. As we're caught in survival trap, we don't stop to think often, are our team members experiencing that same level of burnout?
Mm-hmm.
So when we're living in survival mode, we're in burnout. That can be a trickle down effect to our team members. And if we're not focused on personal and professional development, that is really going to stunt the growth of our companies and our organizations. Mm-hmm. And one thing that we do at Tap the Potential, and this is a reason why I wanted you to be here with us today, Kaitlyn, is we start every year by Dr. Sabrina sharing the vision, the company vision for Tap the Potential. And in that vision, it's important to know it's not just the professional vision, it's her personal vision. And when she shares that vision and reads it out loud, which she does every quarter, and it always makes me cry, I'm able to see myself in my role in the company and know not only what I'm responsible for in my role, but I get to look at that and say, oh my goodness, I feel like I'm a part of this, and it's energizing and it's so exciting and it motivates me. And then Dr. Sabrina takes it a step further and says, okay, leadership team, I want you to create your personal vision as well as your professional vision as it pertains to your role. Mm-hmm. And that became a very life-changing experience for me because I wasn't doing it before then. And Kaitlyn, I know it was life-changing for you too. Could you just speak to what it feels like to be a team member who is asked, hey, what's your vision? What are your dreams? I just want to know, and I want you to share with our listeners how that impacted you personally and professionally.
Well, it's something that we're not asked enough. I think when we're young kids and when you're a kid and you just have this wild imagination and you think anything's possible, you live day to day. Anything is possible. I can do anything. It's almost like you start your day in that Superman pose. You're just like, man, I can do anything. And then as we get older and, there's societal pressures and there's what we should do versus, and following that traditional track, it can become clouded and we can get really jaded. And so to come full circle and work with our team of coaches, it's Dr. Sabrina, but it's also you, our lead strategist, and we have our integrator who's a life coach. And the first time we really talked about visioning and dreaming is really overwhelming at first. I'm going to be honest, all my A players out there and even the business owners, the first time you say it, they may not jump for joy. They may think, what's the catch? Why are you asking me this? They could be skeptical because they've never heard it before. But what I started to notice was the three of you would take me under your wing and you would start to open my eyes to see that everything starts with dreaming, just like we were when we were kids. And then when we get to that place where we break down those barriers and we start visioning, that's where we're manifesting and we're putting things on paper and we're really cultivating. We're all manifesting together and there's a lot of power in that. Mm-hmm. So to be an A player and to walk through that process, at first I was hesitant and I put up the stop sign and I said, I have been in a lot of rooms where people would ask me some questions. I don't know if I want to answer these. We slowly chipped away at why I was feeling that way, where the hesitation was coming from. And to go through that process of dreaming and now visioning and planning, it has unlocked so much within my life, not just professionally, but really personally.
Mm.
And the impact has been profound. I've gone from a scarcity mindset to a mindset of abundance. I've gone to fear-based assumptions to just unleashing myself.
Mm.
And a big thing that stands out to me is failing forward at full force. Like I just try things. And I've really overcome the imposter syndrome. So I think what I'm trying to say is, in a nutshell, is at first I was very hesitant, and I think your A players will be too. It's hard to talk about it. You create this wonderful opportunity to build a relationship and to ask questions and to dive deep with your A players and really engage them in a process, a journey that they would have never thought possible, that they've never experienced before. And it was one of the best experiences I've had related to anything in life, not just work.
Mm.
And it's changed everything in my career, and it's changed everything in my life. Everything has really come together for me. None of that would have been possible without us breaking the ice and talking about dreaming and you asking those questions. Even though I was resistant, you worked with me, and you helped me push back and you push past that and say, okay, Kaitlyn, but this is where it's going to support you. This is why we want to do this. And we want to take you on this journey. It was just really, it was incredible. And now I'm not in a place of burnout because you all took the time to do this with me. And getting an A player out of burnout, I just want to say our A players are 900 to 1200% more productive than warm bodies. So if you can help your A players get to a place of no more burnout in their life and in their profession, they're going to show up 900 to 1200% more productive.
Wow. There's so much here to unpack. So the first thing I want to address is why we stop dreaming. And, you mentioned when you were a child, that's all you did. You dreamed, and then you start failing. And though you continue to make more dreams, at some point, typically what happens is someone steps in and says, okay, it's time to be practical. And you may have this dream of owning a business or being an astronaut, but let's be practical. Let's talk about how you're going to pay the bills. And we tend to look at all of the resistance that we're meeting, and we have a scarcity mindset. And we think, okay, what's really going to pay the bills here? But what we forget is our dreams are our dreams for a reason. The reason why we have the dreams inside of us is because our dreams are who we are at our core. It's our character. And in the Dream Manager program, we go over what our goals are for our physical, emotional, intellectual, and spiritual lives. So we're looking at what encompasses us as a person. And I can remember, Kaitlyn, when we started this journey with you, you had a lot of limiting beliefs. And you started with us as a success concierge. And because Dr. Sabrina sat down with you one day and said, I want you to write out your professional and your personal vision and what your ideal role looks like at Tap the Potential. You're now on 2 leadership seats. And it all came from that one defining moment of you just stepping back and saying, this is what I want to do. This is my passion. I have all the abilities. I just need the support and the training to be able to do so. So the first step that we took was a dream storming session. And the dream storming session can be very overwhelming. It can be very emotional when we do it for the first time. And what this dream storming session is just a quiet time where we have nice, soft music. I take you into a mindset of dreaming. We do breathing exercises, and then I start to ask you powerful questions about your dreams. And these powerful questions are questions that you have probably not thought of since you were a child. Or maybe there was at one point in your life where you were faced with a really excruciating circumstance where some of these questions popped up. But because you were going through the day-to-day things that you have to do in life to function, you forget to circle back to them and create an intention and lasting change because of it. So, Kaitlyn, I just want to have you share what your experience was as a result of the dream storming session that we do in the Dream Manager program.
So I want to start out by saying I might get emotional when I talk about this. Dreaming was hard. And it's exactly tied to what you just described. I got to a place in my life where I was thinking practically. Mm-hmm. What's going to pay the bills? What's going to get me from A to Z? And I was such a planner. I'm still a planner. And I like things to go according to plan. But that can be limiting. Mm-hmm. So with the dream storming session, the first time I participated, I had nothing written down. And it completely brought me to tears. Mm-hmm. So I want you to imagine being asked these powerful questions and just having nothing written down on your paper. That hit me like a ton of bricks because my parents and my grandparents always wanted the best for me and provided me with so many opportunities. So when I looked at that page, in my head, all I could think about was the shame and the guilt of letting societal pressures and a hustle mindset get the best of me. This was the first step in my journey, but this exercise changed my entire life and my career. And where we really started was that wheel of life. We looked at the wheel of life to assess where my life satisfaction was in relation to relationships, development, career, spiritual awareness, finances, enjoyment, well-being, family. I get winded just saying all of that. And when we talk about the wheel of life, my scores were between 0 and 4. Mm-hmm. The highest score is a 10. So I was in a place of extreme burnout and analysis paralysis. And the first couple of sessions, I quickly learned what my values are. And what's so interesting to me is I thought that I knew what my values were. I did not. I knew maybe what 1 or 2 were because they were so prevalent in my life. Communication, service. I knew those were 2 pillars, but I really didn't understand what my core values were. And because I didn't have this awareness, I was not in the best place to make strategic decisions for my life or for my career. Nothing that was in alignment with my core values. And so I was constantly in a state of fight or flight or tension. When you aren't in alignment, it can feel so discouraging, disheartening, and overwhelming. And that is exactly what I felt in that moment when I looked at my paper and there was nothing there. Mm-hmm. And started crying to my colleagues and saying, I have to do something different. And so what I have found and what Dream Manager preaches is when your life and your career are in alignment with your values, though, your overall well-being drastically improves. Mm. And that has a ripple effect to everyone else. So at the start of the Dream Manager program, I was hyper-focused on what other people wanted for me. And this was not intentional, of course. This is just my nature. I am somebody that puts others' needs ahead of my own. So it was my natural tendency to do this. And I needed to go through several sessions of the Dream Manager program. And after I completed each session, I started to break down the barriers that I was putting up for myself, and really started to identify what I wanted. And that was really, really powerful for me. It's really vital to break those things down instead of thinking about what society or family or external pressures are really telling you that you need to feel validated, successful, fulfilled. And what I found is that when you have attended several sessions over time, you begin to dig deeper into what you want out of life. And then figuring out what you then want out of a career that aligns with that. What is the work that supports life? And so when you stick with this, that's when you really start to uncover your deepest desires, emotions, or thoughts, because dreaming just doesn't happen overnight. It's not a reality for most people. So this experience, at first, I was very discouraged. I was disheartened. It was a slap in the face. And it was a beaming light into the fact that I really needed to make changes. And then over time, as I started to uncover what it is that I really wanted, I was able to articulate that into a vision, into something that I could work towards, get behind, and get really excited about.
This is so powerful. And I just want to, full disclosure here, I am Kaitlyn's mom. We work together at Tap the Potential. So I've had the incredible gift of watching you blossom into an adult and an amazing woman and amazing coworker. And I just really have seen you come into yourself since you began the Dream Manager program last year. And for you to be able to now not only identify who you are and what you want out of life, but to align that with a company that supports you to do so is so incredible to watch. The reason why having a personal strategic plan and having this dream storm session and the value of the Dream Manager program really lies on this. If you don't know where you're going, you're never going to get there.
Oh, yes.
So, as I shared last week on the podcast, if you didn't tune in last week, please tune in to episode 281, where I'm sharing how we, as business owners, we put so much time and energy and effort and money into creating our business plan. And when we don't have a personal strategic plan to accompany that, we're throwing spaghetti at the wall. Because as entrepreneurs, when we started our business, or if we're part of an organization, a nonprofit, a church, there was a reason to start that. And it always comes back to supporting your life. And we have to remember that our team members are our most important customer. And I just really value that at Tap the Potential. And I'm so proud to be, proud for us both to be here as a living proof example of how companies can implement strategies to support their best team members. I would love to hear, Kaitlyn, your journey. So you had the dream storming session. How did you realize that you were in alignment with Tap the Potential once you created this personal vision and you went through the dream storming session and into the Dream Manager program? What are some of the things that we do with our team members to help you succeed professionally?
That's such a great question. And really what comes to mind is our A-player development tracker. So when I first started at Tap the Potential and I started going into dreaming sessions, I would have all of these huge takeaway aha moments, and I would be sharing them with everyone on the team because I really wanted to get to a place of defeating burnout, but also exploring what ways I can start to add value to the team from my past experiences moving forward. And so after Dr. Sabrina had read me the Tap the Potential vision, and I started doing our dreaming sessions, we created together this tracker so that we could download all of our thoughts, ahas, and then from any conversations that I was having with our coaches, what are the steps, the small steps forward that I'm going to take in order to ensure that I'm following the plan that we've set out. And so that A player development tracker houses all of my dreams. It houses my quarterly goals and the small action steps that I'm going to take to accomplish those. And these goals are very specific to different areas that I'm supporting in Tap the Potential. So I support with marketing, I support with sales, I support with how to hire the best. And I'm honored to do that work. And so when we're looking at my goals, we're really trying to unpack, okay, based on what you're learning from dreaming and what you've put into your visions, what needs to happen to get you closer to meeting those goals? And then what guardrails do we need to put in place? Because I'm an A player, so I want to go big or go home. So sometimes I need, you to pull me back in. So that's one way. This A player development tracker houses all of this information, and I'm checking in very often through one-to-ones with our leadership team to really ask for support and get approval for different trainings that are going to aid in my development. And I stay in communication with the team to really make sure that I am focused on my $10,000 an hour activities, my high value activities in order to accomplish those goals. So all of that comes together. And I would say another activity that we've talked about that really helped crystallize this was I wrote my professional vision after Dr. Sabrina shared her Tap the Potential vision. Mm-hmm. And when we did that activity together, I took all my hopes, my dreams, my goals, and I put them on paper for our team to see. Mm-hmm. And by doing this, not only me as the A player did I feel seen, heard, valued, understood, but our team rallied around me and they picked different areas that they knew they could lend their expertise and support with to help me move forward. So it's not all on Dr. Sabrina. It's not all on me even. It's a team effort. Because as employers of choice, when we see our employees as humans first and we care about their personal lives and we start helping them work through these things to accomplish your goals, the impact on the way that we show up is indescribable. So writing that professional vision was really that gateway to identify what steps I was going to take to continue to support the vision and the trajectory of Tap the Potential.
Wow. That's really impactful. I also want to add, we do have a community for entrepreneurs, a free community that you can join, tapthepotential.com/group. And in that group, we have information on the A player development plan. And of course, Dr. Sabrina has created on the A player attraction system. And when we're also thinking about other things that we do at Tap the Potential to support our team members, we have immutable laws for Tap the Potential that we follow on our team. And that's something that we help you do in the Better Business, Better Life program. And it's really important when you're going through the hiring process to share those immutable laws with your candidates to make sure that your values are completely aligned. And those immutable laws really are a guiding post to how we show up every day, how we serve one another, and how we serve our clients. So when you have a clear vision for your company, a personal vision, not just you, but your team members, and those are all backed by your immutable laws, you're creating a company culture that has monumental potential. I just want to ask Kaitlyn, is there anything else that you would like to share on your experience with how having the personal strategic plan, how the Dream Manager program has supported you and kept you an exciting and engaged team member at Top the Potential?
So many thoughts come to mind. I think I would just like to echo that what you see on the Profit by Design podcast and the things that we're sharing online, the things that we're sharing in Mighty Network is all possible when you really do focus on when you treat your team members like your customers and your clients. It really makes a profound difference. And you, as a business owner, as a leadership team, can have such a profound impact that goes far beyond what you see when you start to take these actions. And because of the dreaming sessions and because of taking a really deep dive into what my personal strategic plan is, I have almost more than doubled my income. I have relationships with family and a significant other that wouldn't have been possible without major life changes. When we talk about dreaming and we talk about what we want our day-to-day lives to look like, I couldn't have dreamed of a better social network, and it's due to the things that we've done in Dream Manager. And I have created this opportunity to, as a woman and a young entrepreneur, as a young professional, young entrepreneur, this might resonate with other A players who are in my boat. There is no price tag on having a seat at the table. There is no better feeling than working for a company that really helps you change just how you show up, not even change, just empower you to authentically step into who you are. And having my voice heard, having a seat at the leadership table is something that I have dreamt of for so long. And to be able to do that, I attribute all of that to dreaming, to visioning, and to the fantastic leadership team, our integrator, Amy, Melissa, our lead strategist, who just happens to be my mom as well, and Dr. Sabrina, first and foremost, our founder at Tap the Potential, and somebody that I'm really, really inspired by time and time again, all of the wonderful things that she's doing and the impact that we have together. But it starts there. And I think that I just want to share how impactful that has been for me. And it's really changed things for me in my personal life, and it's changed things for me in my professional. And I empower any small business owner, any A player to look into this Dream Manager program, because it is vital to keeping your team members engaged.
Wow.
Even more than engagement, getting them energized to come to work and to think about all the ways that they can add value to you and to your clients and to your team members. That's how I feel right now. And I couldn't have done it without you.
Wow.
And Dr. Sabrina and Amy.
That's incredible. And I full disclosure here, Dr. Sabrina has no idea what we're sharing. We did not run this by her. We have busted in on the Profit by Design podcast and all of her social channels, and this will be a surprise to her. So we definitely value the support. And the beauty of the Dream Manager program is that it's a value add benefit to your team, and it's something that you don't have to deliver. So by providing the Dream Manager program, what participants are going to get, whether it's you or your team members, or maybe it's an organization that you're part of, your nonprofit, it could be your church or your school. When participants come into the Dream Manager program, all of the courses are already ready in a vault for participants to watch. And you receive this really cool package at the beginning that has the Dream Manager book by Matthew Kelly, who we are so proud to partner with, as well as a Rhythm of Life book and a workbook to go through, guide you through the Dream Manager program. So you watch the courses at your own pace, and then you receive monthly coaching, live coaching with me, where I go in and I inspire you and I give you further teaching around all of the different areas that we've been discussing today. And then I hold you accountable. So the personal strategic plan isn't just writing down that vision. It's actually saying, here's my plan of action. Here's what I'm dreaming of, and here's how I'm going to do it. And often we can't come up with all of those things ourselves. We need someone to coach us through it by asking us powerful questions and guiding us. For example, how do we financially fund these dreams that we're talking about? So we go through all of that in the Dream Manager program. And the cool thing is we have a community where we're interacting on a daily basis together. It's a closed community, and we're interacting, we're encouraging one another, we're lifting each other up, and then we're coming into coaching time together. And when you enroll in the course, there's no stop date. It just continues going so you can continue growing. And it's truly been a life-changing experience for so many people. So I want to invite you to check out our Dream Manager program at tapthepotential.com/Dream Manager. And in this episode today, we covered what a personal strategic plan is and why it's so important, how identifying your dreams supports your business vision, and how to energize your A players and keep them engaged by implementing their own strategic plan. Don't forget to check us out at tapthepotential.com/Dream Manager and join Dr. Sabrina as she will be back on the Profit by Design podcast next week. Remember, we're live every Friday at 11:30 a.m. Central on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And please don't miss an episode. Subscribe to the Profit by Design podcast on whatever platform you receive your podcasts. And Kaitlyn, I just want to thank you so much for coming in today and sharing your experiences. And if anyone wants to ask you more questions about the Dream Manager program or about Tap the Potential in general, can you just share how they can get in contact with you?
Yes, it has been a pleasure to share my experience, and I hope that this is empowering for our audience. If anyone is interested in learning more, please schedule your call at tapthepotential.com/Kaitlyn. You can also shoot me an email at Kaitlyn@tapthepotential.com.
Okay, spell Kaitlyn for us because there's so many versions of Kaitlyn. I want to make sure our listeners get that right.
Yes, you are not wrong. So that's tapthepotential.com/KAITLYN.
Perfect. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Big shout out to Dr. Sabrina, who we love dearly. And we welcome her back next week on the Profit by Design podcast.